Hi everyone, my name is Henrik. Glad you can join us live. In this video, I'm going to be talking about, is it worth it to learn how to program? It's going to be great. Hope you enjoy the content. This is part of a 10-day series I'm going to be teaching every day for every weeknight from January 9 to January 20, 8 p.m. Eastern Time on this channel. So I'm going to be teaching about, is it worth it to learn how to program? And by the way, if you've ever wanted to learn how to program and you don't know where to start, I have a free guide called my Personalized Finance App Programming Guide. Basically, it's a 12-step guide that will teach you how to go from no coding experience to building your first app. And basically what you do there is you take your credit card transactions, and then you can you'll use your program to see how much you're spending in different budget categories. And if you don't have a credit card, I have a sample file in the guide that you can play with. So if you download the guide and follow the steps, then you will definitely learn some fundamental programming concepts. And also, it's free. That's absolutely free. So hope you can download it and learn from the guide. Also, before we begin, I also plan to open it up for questions at the end of the live. So be sure to stick around if you have any questions about anything I talk about. All right, so is it worth it to learn how to program? Short answer is yes. Just look around the world that we live in. We live in a digital world and information heavy world. And if you look at all the businesses that are out today, a lot of them have digital aspects to them. So a lot of businesses are relying on programmers to build and scale their business. So I think now is a good time to learn how to program. And if you want to build anything in this world, you have to know how to program. And I think it's very valuable. And also I have some statistics about programming from the US Bureau of Labor Statistics. There's a quote here. It says, overall employment in computer and information technology occupations is projected to grow 15% from 2021 to 2031. And this is much faster than the average for all occupations. And then the median annual wage for this group was $97,430 in May 2021. And the median annual wage for all occupations was $45,760. So I think you can see from those statistics the demand that there is for programmers. Otherwise, it wouldn't be so high. So I think you can see it's kind of obvious how important programmers play in our lives today. But I'm going to give a more nuanced answer because I think there are a lot of different kinds of people who are asking this question. For example, there's people who just want to build a particular application. Maybe they have a business idea, or maybe they want to build a personal application. And so for those people, I would say, I think you should look into no-code tools, because there's a lot of tools out there that you can actually build an application and you don't even need to learn any programming at all. You can just build it all using drag and drop, and kind of like WordPress, and you can just build your application that way. But I will say this, that having a coding background will help a lot. I think it's almost like a tool for programmers more so than non-programmers. So I will say that. Okay, now for those who are looking to enhance their careers, maybe you are in your workplace and you see a need for programmers. For example, if your team regularly outsources programming work for data analysis, for example, then yeah, I think you should learn. Or if you see a part of your business needs automating, or it would be great if you could automate it, but there are no commercial tools available, then I think, yeah, you should learn. And I think the reason why people ask this question a lot, or why these people are asking this question, is because they're wondering if programming is difficult, or they're wondering if programming takes a lot of time investment before you start to see some fruit. And I think with programming, you don't actually, it's not that hard, and it's very quick that you can see some results. So I will say that, and basically I'm just encouraging you to to programming. And I think the experience is cumulative. So what I mean by that is you can learn how to program like one application, and then once you have that experience, then you'll have ideas for other applications you can build. And the more you program, the more kinds of applications you can build, and it just becomes easier and easier and easier. So definitely, if you're wanting to enhance your career, definitely learn how to program. And I think definitely learn how to program. And I think one of the other people who are asking this question is people who want to switch careers. And as I said before, definitely it is worth it to learn how to program based on the need and the demand that there is right now. For example, I actually know I see it, you can see it online. A lot of people are doing boot camps and they're doing all these programs to learn how to program. But I actually know a lot of people personally who became programmers who are from different professions, different careers. For example, I know this physics teacher. He became a programmer. He's a friend of mine. And it's interesting because he had a master's degree and he was teaching physics at a public school. But he said that he is earning more as in his first job as a programmer than he was with his previous career. So that was pretty interesting. He's earning a lot more. So I think that's one of the reasons why learning programming is worth it, because you earn a lot. And and so, but on the other end of the spectrum is I have a nurse friend who is learning how to program, and nurses make a lot of money already, right? But I think she said that she wants to learn how to program because she wants more time. So there's that balance of time and money. So programmers can earn a lot of money, but they also don't have to put a lot of time to earn that amount of money. They have a good work-life balance is how I would describe it. So it's a really good work-life balance. And also lastly, I know a couple of mechanical engineers who also switched into programming, and one of them was actually my mentor. So see, even people who have a different background, they can become really good at programming and they can take on more senior level positions. So I'm really thankful for that mechanical engineer who he switched, and he basically taught me a lot of good fundamental programming concepts. And I think one of the so the last group of people I will address is there's these people who are thinking if AI will replace programmers. And I think this started off as a fun question. It started off as a kind of like a silly question, but it's starting to become more relevant. It's starting to become more serious, especially with this chat AI called ChatGPT that was released in November last year, or basically a few months ago. ChatGPT, and I was playing with it last night, and I'll tell you some results that I found from it. But basically, the way I would answer this question is, will AI replace artists or musicians? And some of you are already saying, yeah, AI has already replaced a lot of artists and musicians. They're already generating these nice, fancy paintings, and it's actually getting controversial because they don't cite the artists the AIs don't cite artists who they are taking from. And also there are some people who are creating music. I think Mogan Heap is using AI to create some music. So you can already see AI is already doing some of this. And I think this is the same way with programmers, but I think what I will say is that AI can replace some aspects of art and music, but they can't fully replace all artists and musicians, because what is art and music? Art and music is something that has a human element to it. I think programming is the same way. Programming is like an art, and programmers are like artists, and there is a human element that is involved because we're solving human problems. So I don't think AI will fully replace programmers, and I think the day that AI can fully replace musicians and artists, then sure, maybe AI can replace programmers. But I think AI is going to replace a lot of other jobs. It's going to replace a lot of other jobs before programmers. And I think last thing I'll say is there's a lot of speculation about AI, but I personally don't think we should be worrying about it. I don't think this should drive whether or not you learn how to program, because it's hard to predict the future. And I think what we should do is we should just do what we can now and then adapt. Like, I know a lot of programmers in my jobs. I've met programmers who've been programming since the 1980s, 1970s, and they talk about different programming languages that they worked with and different ways of programming that are obsolete now. And programming has advanced really far. But what did they do? They adapted. And I think we as programmers, we're going to have to adapt to AI. And for fun, I asked ChatGPT yesterday. I said, "Will AI replace programmers?" And I'll just read what it says. What it said. So it said, "There is an ongoing debate and discussion about the potential impact of artificial intelligence on the field of programming and the role of programmers. Some people believe that AI could potentially automate certain tasks currently performed by programmers, such as writing code or identifying and fixing bugs." Oh, by the way, ChatGPT does write code, and that's pretty interesting. And I watched some videos of ChatGPT writing some applications. Anyways, so back to the point. It says here, or ChatGPT said, "However, it is important to note that AI is a tool and is not capable of replacing the role of programmers altogether. While AI may be able to perform certain tasks more quickly or efficiently than humans, it is not capable of the creative, problem-solving, and critical thinking skills that are essential to the work of programmers. It is likely that AI will continue to play an increasing important role in the field of programming and other fields, but it is unlikely that it will replace the need for human programmers altogether. Instead, it is more likely that AI will augment the work of programmers and other professionals, and that it will be used in combination with human skills and expertise to achieve better results." And I think I agree with ChatGPT here. I think that AI is going to be something that it will be helpful for programmers to automate the mundane code that's out there. So that's my take for now, and of course we can't predict the future, so we'll see. So last thing I'll say about this question: is it worth it to learn how to program? My recommendation for you who are asking this question is to just build one application. I think with building one application, you can get a taste of programming, and even if you do no code tools, you will get a taste for what's involved in programming. And if you like what you're learning, you can continue going. If you don't like what you're learning anymore, then you can just stop. And I will always say this: learn as far as you want and as far as you need. And that's true of my career as a programmer. I've only learned as far as I wanted or as far as I needed, because programming ultimately is just a tool. So you don't want to learn all these tools and tricks that you're never gonna use. You want to learn things that you need to use. So in my jobs, I've only looked up programming code that I needed to actually use, and some hobbies of mine I've only learned as much as I wanted to learn, because it was something that I was interested in. So I think the same for you who are asking, is it worth it to learn? Then just learn as far as you want and as far as you need. All right, so that's the end of my talk. So I'd like to open it up for questions if you guys have any questions. And if you have any questions, like if anything I said didn't make sense, feel free to let me know. In fact, where are you on your programming journey? Have you started learning? If so, feel free to tell me how far you are. And if not, then why not? What is holding you back from learning how to program? Are you still looking into it? I would love to hear your thoughts on what kind of things that are holding you back from wanting to learn. Also, I mentioned in the beginning of this live, but if you haven't already downloaded it, I have a free guide on how to build your first app. This goes in line with my recommendation to build your first app. You can download it in the description. It should be there. And if you follow the steps, I think it would be a great first start for learning how to program, and it'll open your eyes to see what's possible in programming. And I think when I was in university, the way I really understood programming is by doing projects. So I think this would be a good first project for you. All right. Well, thanks for hanging out. This is my first video for this series. Hope you can join us tomorrow. And I'm going to be talking more about other programming related questions. So if you're catching this on the replay, leave your questions below in a comment, and I'm going to be engaging with the comments over the coming days and weeks. So I'd love to continue to help serve you and answer your questions there. And hope this is helpful. Peace.